Well, Equestria Girls Spring Breakout is now officially on DVD, courtesy of my DVD recorder. But the one thing I have noticed when I skimmed through it to make sure everything was okay, there was no interruptions or anything, the one thing I did notice, and some people have pointed this out, was the fact that it looks like Equestria Girls Spring Breakdown, just like some other specials before it, has skipped out on a few scenes. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say skipped out, but more along the lines of cut down on scenes, or to basically removed certain parts of the special that maybe were unnecessary, but also could have played a crucial part. For example, you have the ending that ends abruptly with Sunset bringing everybody from the cruise ship through the portal into Twilight's castle to try to go through the mirror portal back home. You have Sunset, not Sunset, but you have Rainbow in pony form basically tell her friends that's hero time, and then you go to commercial, and then the next thing we see, even when we come back, is not just, the characters trying to survive on the boat because it's sinking, but the next thing we see is Rainbow Dash, Sunset, and Sidetwi coming through the forest, and yet we don't see exactly how they, when Twilight gave him the Sword King's staff. So obviously there are some moments that are cut or shortened here in this special. And again, this goes back to my other video. And again, just like that one, this is on the fly, unscripted. But it goes back to what I said in the other video. But again, this goes back to what I said in the other video on how basically they had some of these moments, these mini arcs, these mini character arcs that really didn't go anywhere in the end, that a lot of fans felt could have easily, and I think some fans would agree, in my personal opinion as well, in my personal opinion, I feel the same way, I should say, that they could have gone and utilized some of these mini character arcs for Rarity and Applejack and Pinkie Pie, and gave them their own individual shorts that could have preceded the special, and then used that time that they gave to these mini arcs for these characters, or for those girls. They could have given that a lot of time to expand on the story a bit more, and not feel like things were being rushed or ending abruptly or whatever. And I hope Hasbro realizes they can't keep doing something like this. I mean, heck, they one time did it with Mystery on the Express or something like that. I think it was Mystery on the Magic Express. I can't think of the episode right now, but basically it's noted that there was a scene that was deleted from the episode, and Hasbro needs to stop doing this. In fact, a lot of studios need to stop doing this. Yes, sometimes an extension of a scene or deleted scene may not mean much, but in the end it does help things feel whole. It does make things feel complete. And by removing that scene or shortening that scene, it makes it feel awkward. And I think that's why a lot of fans, as I mentioned in the other video, felt that this special was just all over the place, due to the fact that it was, basically edited I wouldn't say severely, but edited to a point that, it just made things feel, like I said, awkward and out of place. And they didn't need to do that. They didn't need to. So to me, I think what Hasbro and AllSpark Animation needs to do, and the staff behind Equestria Girls, and even Friendship is Magic, what they need to do in the future is stop doing these edits. They need to stop shortening scenes, deleting scenes, and then later on putting them onto the Hasbro YouTube channel or the My Little Pony Hasbro YouTube channel and saying, here you go, here's some of the extensions for the scenes, or here's some of the scenes that were deleted out. It's kind of like with Forgotten Friendship. You know, there's a moment in there after Sunset teases Twilight saying, are you sure you're willing to help me out with this? And Twilight saying, don't take this away from me. And suddenly, you know, we have Celestia mentioning the archive machine not working as well as it should or as has in the past because it wasn't maintained. And to take a part like that out, even though it might have been meaningless, you know, taking a part out like that, I don't think was necessary. You could have kept it in. Even if it was for comedic purposes, you could have kept it in. Same with Sunset when she's going into the library doing a double take, seeing this Flash Sentry guard that looks like freaking that's basically Flash Sentry. Or seeing the Flash Sentry guard and doing a double take. It's like you have these moments that even if they're not necessarily needed, that you don't really need to skip out, because in your mind, as an animator or movie editor or whatever, they may not be needed, but in the minds of some fans and viewers or moviegoers or show watchers or whatever, these scenes are important, because when they find out later on that this scene or that scene was shortened or deleted, you know, they will come out and question why. And again, like I said, this needs to stop, because even if the scene is minimal, it would be nice to have. Even if that extra moment in that scene doesn't make much sense, it's nice to have. So to me, I hope in the long run, ladies and gentlemen, I hope in the long run that with this being the last season of Friendship is Magic, and essentially we're in maybe the last season of Equestria Girls, or in the last run of Equestria Girls, that hopefully AllSpark Animation and Hasbro overall and the staff overall will stop doing this and just let things go with the flow. That's what they need to do. I mean, a good example is there was a work in progress scene that I believe they should have kept in. I think, what was it, from Friendship Games or something, where Twilight and Sunset were at a diner talking about possibly Sunset considering going back to Equestria. And how pivotal of a moment would that have been in to see? How nice of a scene that would have been. But they didn't put it in there because, why? It took too much time? I mean, I get you have an allotted amount of time. I get that. But if you're going to tell stories like, let's say, Spring Breakdown, Forgotten Friendship, and several others, maybe you should just go the direct-to-video route, is what you should do. The direct-to-Blu-ray and DVD route. Maybe you should just make it and put it in the same lineup that you put Friendship Games, Rainbow Rocks, Legend of Everfree in the first movie itself. Maybe you need to do that instead of just chopping it up or just shortening it to 44 to 50 minute specials. To me, I think it would be worthwhile in the end. And I think anybody listening to this would agree that if you did that with Spring Breakdown and even Forgotten Friendship, and heck, even Roller Coaster Friendship, well, Roller Coaster Friendship I'm not too sure of, but with Forgotten Friendship and this one, Spring Breakdown, if you would have done it with that, with these specials, and made them just regular movies, I think fans would appreciate it more, because you're giving more time to moments that are needed. You're not cutting a lot of stuff out. So hopefully, like I said, they work on this in the near future. But let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, and I'll talk to y'all later.